My wallet was open, ready to make it rain for GPT-5. The hype was real, and I was all in. We all were. The launch in August 2025 was supposed to be the next chapter of AI, a power move from the reigning champ, OpenAI. I was prepared to pay the premium, assuming it would be the undisputed king for any serious developer. But then, I ran some head-to-head tests against a new contender, Deepseek, and the results were undeniable. In this video, I'll walk you through the results of the side-by-side comparisons that made me cancel my premium subscription. I'll show you why Deepseek is the smarter, faster, and, most importantly, cheaper choice for developers right now. This isn't about hype, it's about raw performance and smart economic choices. The AI story of late 2025 isn't about one giant dominating the field. It's about a challenger that quietly delivered a tool that, for many of us, is simply better. And I've got the receipts, let's be real. GPT-5 is a technological marvel. On paper, it's a beast, boasting full multimodality, and rolling up all of OpenAI's previous wins into one everything engine. For a minute, I believed that was the only way forward. Pay up for the best, or fall behind. But while the world watched OpenAI, Deepseek was building a different kind of monster. According to their official claims, Deepseek V2 has 236B parameters with MOE efficiency. Think of MOE like having a giant toolbox, but only pulling out the specific tool you need for a job instead of carrying all of them at once. For any given task, it only activates a fraction of those parameters, around 21 billion, making it incredibly efficient without losing its punch. It might not have all of GPT-5's bells and whistles, but it has a huge 128,000 token context window and has been ruthlessly optimized for what developers care about most: coding, math, and structured reasoning. This isn't David versus Goliath. This is a story of two Goliaths. One was born in the spotlight, and the other was forged in the fires of open source development with a single goal: be the best and most efficient tool for builders. As I put them to the test, I realized the one built for me wasn't the one everyone was talking about. Alright, time for the main event, the gauntlet. This is where claims meet reality. For the first test, I challenged both models with a moderately complex coding task that required solid state management, user interaction, and a bit of physics, specifically tricky collision detection for angled moving surfaces. First up, GPT-5. As expected, it produced clean, object-oriented code that felt like a senior dev's first draft. It worked perfectly on the first try. It was an A+ performance that did exactly what was asked with that signature OpenAI polish. But then came Deepseek's result. The code was also well-structured and worked perfectly, but the physics just felt more real. The friction was more nuanced, and the ball's spin reacted to the rotating walls in a more believable way. The comments were on another level, almost like a mini tutorial, explaining the why behind the physics. It's a small detail, but it's the kind that makes a developer lean in. Then, I tested their ability to refactor and optimize the code for efficiency. GPT-5's response was good. It understood the request and refactored the code logically. No complaints. Deepseek's response, however, was exceptional. It not only refactored the code, but also explained why the optimization mattered, discussing computational complexity. Then it offered two alternative methods. It didn't just provide a solution, it anticipated the next question and taught me something. For a one-shot generation, GPT-5 was flawless. But in a real development workflow, Deepseek proved to be more than a code generator. It was a collaborator. Benchmarks back this up, showing Deepseek Coder V2 outperforming models like GPT-4 Turbo on coding and math tasks, and competing directly with GPT-4o, being second only to it on some benchmarks like Human Evil. Winner: Deepseek. GPT-5 writes perfect code. Deepseek writes perfect code and makes you a better developer in the process. And that's when it hit me. That first result shook me. Maybe GPT-5 wasn't the untouchable champion I thought it was. But the real test was still ahead, a test that would move beyond pure code into something far messier. For the second test, I moved beyond pure code to a messy, real-world task a startup founder or data scientist would face. designing a scalable database schema, and a detailed first-year business plan for a new social media app. This is a tough one, needing both a database architect's logic and a business owner's savvy. GPT-5 came out swinging. It produced a beautiful, perfectly normalized database schema. The business plan was equally polished, with solid analysis and textbook strategies, content marketing, influencer outreach, a freemium model. It was a very good MBA-style answer, but it felt generic. Now for Deepseek. It started with the database schema, which was just as clean and scalable as GPT-5's. A technical tie. But the business plan? That's where Deepseek ran away with it. The tone wasn't a consultant's report. It was advice from a seasoned mentor. The user acquisition strategy was more granular. Instead of influencer outreach, it suggested partnering with mid-list authors and book-focused micro-influencers who offer higher engagement for lower cost. The monetization model was more creative, suggesting an affiliate program with independent bookstores to build community goodwill. And the budget was a masterpiece of frugal innovation, recommending specific low-cost cloud providers and serverless architectures to minimize burn rate. It didn't just give me a plan, it gave me a playbook. If I was actually betting my startup's future on this plan, I'd trust Deepseek, and that realization stung. It wasn't just about performance anymore, it was about trust. Winner. Deepseek. GPT-5's response was flawless and professional. Deepseek's was insightful, practical, and tailored to the prompt's constraints. For anyone trying to build something real, that practical intelligence is priceless. So, after 2 rounds, Deepseek was winning on paper, but there was one final make-or-break test left, the one that every developer lives and dies by. The real killer, cost. The final test is the one that hits the wallet. For developers, performance per dollar isn't a metric, it's a lifeline. For this test, I measured how each model handled a large summarization task, processing about 1 million tokens, repeated 100 times in a row. I timed the process and calculated the API costs. The results are just cold, hard numbers. First, speed. I ran 100 concurrent requests. GPT-5 was fast, completing the job in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, a showcase of OpenAI's powerful infrastructure. Then, Deepseek. I was expecting it to be slower, but I was wrong. It finished in 1 minute and 48 seconds, noticeably faster. This is likely that MoE architecture at work again, it's just more efficient. Now, the most important part, cost. I pulled the pricing for both APIs, the difference is staggering. For the test, which processed about 1 million input tokens and 50,000 output tokens, GPT-5's cost landed at around 7 to 10. Deepseek's cost was approximately 30 cents. You read that right. When I saw the bill at 30 cents instead of $7, I literally laughed out loud. This isn't a small gap, it's a chasm. Deepseek isn't just cheaper, it's operating at a tiny fraction of the cost. For a startup running millions of API calls, that's the difference between a viable business model and bankruptcy. Winner. Deepseek. It's not even a contest. It's faster and astronomically cheaper. So, after 3 rounds, the results are undeniable. Let's break it down. Coding. While GPT-5 produced excellent code, Deepseek won by providing deeper technical explanations and being a more collaborative partner. Practicality. For the power user task, GPT-5's answer was professional but generic. Deepseek won with an actionable, practical, and tailored response. Speed and cost. GPT-5 was fast, but Deepseek was faster, and on cost, Deepseek was the clear winner, proving to be dramatically more cost-effective. While GPT-5 is an incredible piece of tech, Deepseek is the clear winner for the tasks that define my workflow: coding, complex problem-solving, and affordable scaling. It matched or beat GPT-5's quality on practical tests, ran faster, and did it all for pennies on the dollar. The promise of GPT-5 was one model to rule them all. The reality of Deepseek is a specialized, efficient tool that does the things I need it to do, better and cheaper. This isn't just about me switching APIs. This signals a fundamental shift. For years, the narrative from big, closed-source companies was that cutting-edge AI is wildly expensive and you have to pay a premium for it. We were heading for a future where the best AI was a utility controlled by a few giants. Deepseek, with its powerful open-source model, completely shatters that narrative. It proves you can get state-of-the-art performance without the vendor lock-in and prohibitive costs. This is a massive win for developers, startups, and researchers, anyone who wants to build with AI on their own terms. It democratizes access to truly powerful tools. My decision to drop GPT-5 wasn't easy. I still admire OpenAI's work, but my loyalty isn't to a brand, it's to the tools that let me build. For me, Deepseek wasn't just cheaper, it changed how I build. And once you've felt that freedom, the freedom to create without worrying about the cost, it's hard to go back. Its combination of elite coding skills, incredible speed, and unbelievable cost-effectiveness makes it the smarter, more powerful choice for people who build things. And that's why I'm not going back. But that's just my take. What do you think? Have you put DeepSeek or other open-source models up against the titans? Are we finally entering the era where open-source AI takes the lead? Drop your thoughts and your own test results in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you found. And if you found this breakdown useful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'll be doing more head-to-head battles with the latest AI tools as they drop. Thanks for watching.